Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. So in today's video, I'll be teaching you how to make this beautiful top with a burst effect. So if you are interested in knowing this, kindly stay back, like and subscribe to this channel, and always turn on your notification bell so you can get update from us whenever we post a new video. So the required measurement needed for this top is the length, your bust measurement, the waist measurement, and also your sleeve length, the round shoulder, and also your round sleeve. So guys, let's get straight into the video. So guys, I'll be using this square fabric for this tutorial, and also I'm just going to be folding my fabric into two. Divide the biggest part of your measurement by 4, then you add extra inch. So mine is the bust divided by 4, I have about 8.25, so I'm just going to be adding 2 to 3 extra more inch, so that I'll know what to fold exactly. So I'm just going to be folding 10.25. After I was done doing that, I think this is okay for me. Then I'm just going to be marking a straight line. That is going to be my start line, and it's going to serve as the shoulder line. Okay, remember my fabric is on fold. So guys, the next thing I'll do, since it's an off shoulder, I want it 6 inches off, and if you don't want it to, you can use between 5 to 6 or 7. Just do whatever you want, but mine I'll be starting with 6. So you're just going to take your measurement from 6 inch and measure to the length of your top. So the length of this top that we're using is 23 inch. So I just went ahead to mark my 23 inch, and that will be all. So the next thing I'll do, I'm going to be measuring my bust point measurement. So it's an off shoulder dress, and my bust measurement is 9. So I'm just going, that is from your shoulder to your nipple. So I'm just going to be adding like half of an inch extra. This is to serve as an ease, because it's an off shoulder, you want your armhole to have an ease. Also, when I go to my shoulder line, since this is an off shoulder, I'm just going to be subtracting 1.5 or 1 inch away from your shoulder measurement. So my shoulder measurement is 7. So when I subtract 1.5 from it, I'm just going to be marking 5.5. Okay, so you just make sure you subtract between 1 and 1.5. So I went ahead to measure the same thing on my bust measurement, and I'm just going to connect to get my bust line. So on that bust line, I'm just going to be marking my bust measurement. Your bust divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch is going to be my seam allowance. Okay, so I'll go ahead and connect to get my armhole curve, just like you see me doing. If you don't understand what I'm saying, make sure you watch what I'm doing. So from that, remember, you are going to take your measurement from 6, and I'm going to be measuring my half length, and the half length that I'll be using is 16. So I'll enter ahead to mark my 16. You can actually use a straight ruler if your hand is not going to be straight. So that is going to serve as my half length. So on that half length, you're going to be dividing your waist by 4, then you add seam allowance. Mine is 6.5 plus 1.5 as the seam allowance. So I'm just going to mark it and connect from my bust to my waist measurement, which is going to be with a straight line. Okay, so at the hem of this dress, I'll go ahead and mark 3 inch to get that my burst effect. Actually, you can actually connect this line with a straight ruler, or you can use a curve. So for this, I'll be using a curve. Okay, so I just went ahead to connect. I also went ahead to add half of an inch at the upper part as the joining allowance. I'll join into my lining. Also, when you get to the down part, you're going to be adding half of an inch, then you just connect like you see me doing, and that will be all for this. I'll just go ahead and cut using my scissors. So I'm just going to be cutting on the lines that I just marked. Just cut on the line that we just marked. Watch what I'm doing. If you don't understand what I'm saying, take your time when doing this, and that'll be all for the front bodies. Okay, so guys, after I was done cutting, this is what it looks like. I went ahead to open it up, and as you can see, it's already coming out. It's already looking beautiful. So I'm just going to be cutting the back right now. I've gone ahead to mark my start line. So, and you know, it's going to be having a zipper behind, so the zipper allowance is going to be 1.5. So I just went ahead to place my tape on 6, and for the back of this dress I'm going to be stopping at my half length, and the half length, remember, for the front it was 16, so I went ahead to mark 16 and connect. So I'm just going to be marking my zipper allowance, like I said, is 1.5. So I've gone ahead to connect with my straight ruler. So the next thing I'll do, I'm just going to place my tape after the zipper, not before the zipper. Please do not make the mistake, because we'll be stitching our zip. So you're just going to start after your zipper. So I'm going to be marking the same 5.5. Remember, your shoulder measurement, subtract 1.5 from it. So after marking 5.5, I also went ahead to mark my bust point, which is 9.5. So I went ahead to confirm my shoulder measurement so that I can get a straight line. So the next thing I'll do, I'm going to divide my bust measurement by 4 and add an extra 1.5 as the seam allowance. So also on the waist, I'm going to be marking my waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch. After I was done doing that, I went ahead to connect with my straight ruler. I've gone ahead to mark my armhole curve. Then on the waistline, I want my zip to sit well at the back. So on that waistline, I'm just going to go in by 3/4 of an inch. Then I'll connect with a straight ruler. Okay, just connect like you see me doing. So guys, that will serve as my new zipper allowance, because I don't want folds at the back. So I went ahead to add half of an inch at the down part of my back bodies, and also you are going to be adding half of an inch at the upper part as well. This will serve as our joining allowance. So I went ahead to cut this out. Just watch what I'm doing. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you're going to be cutting on the lines that we just marked. This is me cutting through the armhole and also the shoulder, the upper part. Also for the back, you can decide to make it curved or you can decide to leave it straight like mine. So the next thing I will do, I'm just going to be cutting through the zipper allowance. So here is our new zipper allowance. So guys, this is our back bodies and also this is our front bodies. Okay, you should have something like this. So guys, the next thing I'll do, I'm just going to be measuring my sleeve. So for the length of this sleeve, mine is 26. So you can take your client's measurement. Mine is 26. So I'm just going to be measuring the length of my sleeve, which is 27 inch. Remember, you're going to be adding your folding allowance to this 27, 1 inch folding allowance, and also 1 inch for the upper part too, if you're not going to be turning it. And also the width of my sleeve is 17 on 4 fold. Remember, I've folded my fabric on 4 and the width is 17, so you can make it wider if you want, but 17 is okay for me. That is 34 if I'm to open it up. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut this out so that we can work well on the sleeve now. Also, I've gone ahead to open the sides. Okay, remember our fabric is on fold, so I went to open up the other ends. So guys, we have 4 pieces. Okay, so guys, I've gone ahead to measure my armhole curve. Take your measurement after the half of an inch, because we'll be stitching that one in. So you're going to be measuring your armhole curve, and I have about 7 inch. So guys, I'm just going to be working on my sleeve. I've gone ahead to mark 1 inch. That's going to serve as my folding, because we'll be adding an elastic. So I'm going to be marking my armhole curve and make sure you have 7. Just look at what I'm doing, and if it's not up to 7 you can still extend the curve, okay? And I think this is okay for me. I just went ahead to connect to the upper part. I've gone ahead to cut the armhole out just like you see me doing, and I'm going to be adding my elastic, like I said, to the upper part. The next thing I'm going to do, remember this sleeve actually has 7, it's going to be having channels. So guys, I went ahead to measure the sleeve aside the folding, and I with 25, okay? I have 25 inch over there. So this 25, since you're just going to divide it into 3, because it's going to be having an elastic at the center and also at the down part of my sleeve. So 25 divided by 3 is 8.5. I've gone ahead to measure 8.5 from the upper part and also 8.5 from the second one that we just mark. I don't know if you understand what I'm doing. Just watch what I'm doing if you don't understand what I'm saying. Also, I'm going to be extending this line to the other side. Can you see what I'm doing? Just open it up like this and turn it over. Then I'm going to be connecting. Just ensure you have 8.5. Divide your sleeve length by 3. Whatever you have, you're just going to measure, because we want this to be equal. We want the distance between each of these lines to be the same. So the next thing I'll do, I'll go ahead and I'm going to mark the wrong side from the right side, okay? Make sure you do this so you don't get confused, because it has 2 faces. This particular crepe material has 2 faces. Also, I'll be using the same fabric as the lining. You can decide to use a different, but I think this is okay for me. I still have enough of this, so I went ahead to cut the lining for this dress. I'm also going to be cutting for the back as well. Just fold your fabric, unfold, and go ahead and cut this out. You can decide to use any choice of your fabric, but since I have excess of this, I have enough of this, I went ahead to use the same material as my lining piece. Also, I'm going to be marking 1.5 inch. Okay, I'm going to use this to create my channels. So make sure you have enough of this. I'm going to be cutting out like 4 to 5 of this. I should have enough of this, so I'm just going to be using this to create my channels for the sleeve, okay? So guys, we are just going to take our back bodies. We are going to be stitching the lining to the main fabric, okay? So I'm going to be stitching using 0.5 inch from the down part to the zipper allowance and also the upper part of my dress. I'm not going to be stitching at the side and at the armhole. I'm just going to be marking the parts where I'm going to be stitching, the down part, the zipper allowance, and the upper part. You're not going to be stitching on the armhole line. Also for the front, I'm just going to be stitching the upper part only. I'll do that and show you what next to do. Also for this sleeve, I'm going to be folding the hem of this sleeve. After then, I'm just going to creating the channels, okay? You are going to place those strips of fabric we cut. I'm going to stitch using 1/2 inch, then I'm going to be folding over, then I'm going to be stop stitching. Can you see? I'll do that and show you what it looks like. And also at the upper part, since remember we added 1/2 inch for the folding, but I realized it's going to be short for me, so instead of folding, I'm going to be turning it with my straps of fabric. So you're going to place your material from the right side, not the wrong side, then you stitch and turn over and fold to the wrong side. So I'll do that and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I've gone ahead to stitch and I went to iron as well. Go over ahead to your ironing table and iron. Also for the channels, as you can see, I've created the channels for my elastic just like I explained. You're just going to be top stitching. After stitching, you're just going to fold over and stop stitch. Just watch what I'm doing if you don't understand what I'm saying. So that was what I did for the two channels that I created at the center. Okay, then the upper part, can you see it looking so beautiful? Then for the upper part, I first of all stitch from the right side, then I fold over to the wrong side and top stitch. Okay, so guys, the next thing I'll do, I'm just going to be placing my bodies, the front and the back bodies together. So you're just going to be placing right side facing each other, just like you see me doing. I'm just going to make sure that my back bodies is at the center. Place it in between your lining for the front and also the main fabric, just like you see me doing. Okay, so I'm going to be imputing my body measurement. Remember, our seam allowance is 1.5, so I'll go ahead and mark 1.5 on both sides. Okay, ensure you're taking the right measurement, because the only way we can adjust this if eventually your measurement is not correct is either you open it up again or you adjust from the zipper. Also on the waistline, I'm just going to be marking 1.5 and confirm your measurements. Then I'm just going to connect with a straight ruler from the bust to the waist. Can you see what I'm doing? You are going to do the same thing to the other side. Connect with a straight ruler. Then also I'm just going to be connecting half of an inch from that point to the hem of this top with a curve. Remember, we used the curve and not a straight ruler. So you're just going to be connecting just like you see me doing. So guys, and also at the hem of this dress, I'm just going to be stitching using 0.5 inch like we did. Can you see? You know, we actually added half of an inch for this. I'm going to be stitching on that half of an inch. I'll do that and show you what it looks like. So for the sleeve, I'm just going to be subtracting 2 inches from my round sleeve measurement to get the length of my elastic. So I went ahead to cut 3 pieces of this, but one is going to be shorter because it's going to be at the upper part and I want it really fitted. So I'm just going to be fixing this elastic to the channels that I just created and show you what it looks like after I was done doing that. Remember, one is going to be shorter like I said, and the remaining 2, they are going to be equal. So guys, after I've gone to fix this, I went ahead to secure it with my pin. Then I'll just go ahead to my sewing machine and I'm going to be top stitching. Okay, you're just going to be top stitching and I'm going to sew the sides. I'll show you guys what it looks like. So guys, this is it. I've gone ahead to join the sides together after I was done top stitching. The next thing I'll do, I'm just going to be fixing this sleeve to my dress. And also for this, after I was done stitching, can you see, I'm just going to be turning it out from one side of the armhole. Okay, so guys, go ahead to your ironing table and iron this out very well. Okay, so I went to use my scissors to push the edges out so that I can iron this very well. So guys, we are just going to open up our bodies and I'm going to be fixing our sleeve right side facing each other. You are going to be placing the right side of your sleeve to the right side of your upper bodies. So you are going to be stitching. Can you see? You are going to stitch using 0.5 inch. You do the same thing to the other side of your sleeve. Then I'm going to be fixing our zip. So remember, our zipper allowance was 1.5, but we've already stitched about half of an inch. So we are just going to be stitching, fixing our sleeve on 1 inch. I'm going to be using my safety pin to secure this. Just pin down 1 inch, or you can decide to mark 1 inch with a chalk so you don't make a mistake. Can you see what I'm doing? You are stitching on the right side of your back bodice, not the wrong side. Just watch what I'm doing. If you don't understand what I'm saying, ensure it's 1 inch. So you are going to secure it with a pin, then go ahead to your sewing machine and you are going to be sewing very close to your zip. Can you see what I'm doing? Take your time when doing this. So guys, I'm just going to stitch this, fix my sleeve to the dress and show you the final outcome. I don't want this video to be longer than this. And that will be all for this tutorial. So guys, here's the final outcome. This is what it looks like. Do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel and give us a thumbs up. Ensure you share this video. Until I see you in my next video. Bye.